Dre did not practice. Limited was Zane Anderson, Elton Jenkins, Aaron Jones, Darnell Savage, Eric Stokes, Quay Walker, and Devontae Wyatt.
Matt, did Devondre have a setback? Were you hoping that he'd be better along?
Yeah, there was no setback there. He's just working through everything, and I would say he's probably more doubtful this week, and we'll see where he's at. But obviously, give him up to game time to prove it.
How much was this time off sort of needed, I suppose, between games and, another game, another tough game on the road for you guys coming up here on Sunday?
Yeah, I don't know if it was necessarily needed. I definitely feel a rejuvenated bunch. I mean, there was some really good energy, not only on Monday, but today as well. And we're focused, and we know we have to prepare and get better through practice in order to go out there and play better and against a team that, I know what their record is, but when you look at it, lost one game, the first game by 1 point, lost to Washington right at the end there by 2 points, and then, it was a tight game with the Jets. So that's just this league, and you got to prepare to be your best each and every week. And I know Denver's a very tough place to play, so we have to have a great week of preparation.
You've had one game in like 21 days. I don't know how rare that's been for you, if you've ever had a stretch like that before, but what's that been like?
Yeah, it just feels like a long time since we played football, and that's just the nature of the beast, and it doesn't really matter. You got to find a way to go out and be your best.
I don't know if there's any deja vu to last season. Obviously a week 6 bye last year, just like this year, and you kind of had a chance to get things righted, and it turned into a losing streak. Did you learn anything from going through that experience that can be applied to now?
No, I think you're talking about totally different circumstances, totally different team. I think our focus has to lie on getting better each and every day and making sure that we're doing whatever we can do, being very intentional about our work. And, you got to put the work in order to get better. And I was pleased with today's practice, but ultimately it's one practice. You got to do it tomorrow. You got to do it Friday. And then, put your best foot forward on Sunday.
You had the running back, James, to the room. Just the thoughts on his first day here and the thoughts of getting him on the roster.
Yeah, he's a guy that's been a productive back in this league.
And what does Emmanuel Wilson have to do to just get more playing time or be more of a factor, especially when they're in the zone?
I just think it's, there's a learning curve for every young player in this league, and you just got to prove it through practice. And, he's a talented guy, no question about it. But it's just that trust that he can go out there no matter what the defense gives us, that he's going to be able to go out there and execute. Because it's not just running the football. It's protections, it's all that. And I think he's progressing nicely, and we'll give him more opportunities throughout practice and in order for him to go out there and do it in the game.
What have your experiences been playing at Denver at altitude, and how have you thought it affected?
I've only been there one time as a coach. I know it's a difficult environment in terms of their fans are extremely loud. I think a lot of it is just making sure you get the proper nutrition, the hydration, the proper rest, and it's really a mindset thing. Our guys got to understand that, it really doesn't matter. It's a mentality, I think, when you go in there.
We talked about the learning curve for rookie tight ends before. When you're going from a year ago, a guy like Mercedes, just kind of that 6th offensive lineman, to rookies and trying to learn how to block at this level in the run game, what's the balance for you as a coach to make sure that they're getting the developmental snaps that they need to be getting for their own growth, but not giving them too much there as they're kind of getting their feet under them?
Well, I mean, we really, it is what it is with the guys that we have. So, they have to get you want to try to get them every rep possible in practice. And, I think you're more particular in terms of game planning, in terms of what you're going to give them and what you're asking them to do. But I think they're progressing nicely. I think John's done a nice job with that group. And, the more we see it in practice, and the more confident you get in terms of letting them do certain things in the game. I think, playing the tight end position, especially the blocking, is where there's such a contrast from the college game. Is just the inline blocking, all the different, whether it's run schemes, the different protection schemes when you ask them to do that. I think the matchups are definitely a little bit more difficult at this level when you're talking about some of these premier pass rushers that this league possesses. And so I just, it's kind of a week-by-week deal in terms of where they're at.
Have you had to scale back your scheme for them early in the season at all, or is it just a matter of this is what you're expected to do, go out there?
No, I think, you got to be smart about it. And there's certain things that you're going to ask certain tight ends to do that you're not going to ask others to do. It's just, part of it. And you got to adjust your scheme and try to work around it.
Hey, Matt, without helping out the Broncos, what did you find from your time, kind of looking at yourself as a team and as a play caller? I know you said you weren't going to spend every night at the stadium, but I'm sure you grinded pretty good. So what did you find?
Just a lot of inconsistent play. There's certain things that, as a play caller, that you are disappointed with yourself in terms of putting guys in certain situations, and then it's just been very choppy. We haven't been able to get into a consistent rhythm. Just the early down execution has put us into some get back on track situations, and that's really where we've really struggled. In terms of, we've had a ton of 3rd and longs, which it's hard to have success in this league if you're living in 3rd and 10 plus. So I think the overall consistency, because it takes all 11. We say it all the time, but just going back and looking at the tape, it's like there's a guy off here or a guy off there, and it could be one person, and it throws you off rhythm. So we've really tried to stress the importance of staying dialed in and play out, really with that. I know we always talk about that one-play mindset, but it is true when you look at the tape. And if not all 11 are dialed in on their responsibilities, then you're probably not going to have success in this league.
Looking at tape of Denver's defense, what's the difference between what they put on film against Miami and then holding the Chiefs to 19 points?
Yeah, I think that you're looking at an anomaly there. I mean, that was one just really bad game. And I don't know if you guys have watched any football around the league, but Miami's kind of doing that to everybody. So that's a really good offense with a ton of speed. And if you're not on top of your game, they can make you look silly. They just have way too much speed out there. And that's kind of what happened. There was a lot of big plays in that game, and they got loose. When you're watching the game, especially early on, it wasn't like crazy. It got out of hand, I think, as the game went on. But I think that was one game. You look at week 1 versus the Raiders, they held them under 300 yards. So, you're only as good as your last performance, and I think their last performance against the Chiefs was pretty solid defensively.
So what have you seen from their pass defense specifically? They are last in the league based on if you look at pass rating, but they got a premier corner, the safety Jefferson, that's not his name. Simmons, thank you. He's got a lot of picks in his career. So what have you seen from that group?
Yeah, Kareem Jackson's a baller too, and he's been doing it for a long time. And I just think, again, it was, if you look at it, whether it was the Miami game, I thought just watching Chicago, there were some unbelievable plays in that game that sometimes you don't make. There were a lot of bang plays, and I think you see that on tape. It's not like they're not being competitive. It's just there's been some spectacular plays made against them, and I definitely think it's a group that you got to be careful, because they have a lot of talent in the back end, and they can make you pay because they got really good ball skills as well. So I think it's always complementary in terms of the rush with the coverage, and it's not like I'm not worried as much about them. I'm worried more about us, because we need more consistent play in every facet, from up front to the receiving core, to tight ends, to the quarterback, to the running backs. We just got to be better as an offense in general.
To Jason's question about the bye week, and you also thought you used your all 11 to Ryan. And like, what have you thought of Jordan? Just how he's handled revolving door, offensive line, and all the young guys. I mean, it's been a challenge, I would think, given the personnel.
Yeah, I don't think he's worried about it, and I think he's got the right mindset and the right approach to it. He's worried about the things that he can control because all of that is out of his control. I think he's been resilient, even when we've struggled on offense. I see him being a leader, trying to encourage the guys, and that gets frustrating at times. And we all know that. And when you're not scoring points and moving the ball up and down the field, but I think he's been very steady in terms of his approach, his mindset, really trying to truly embody that one-play mindset.
Well, let's talk about going on the road, facing a one-win team that's in a real must-win scenario.
Yeah, that's every week in this league. I don't care who you're playing, where you're playing. You just look at the scores around the league. Every week, somebody's going to surprise you. And we're a 2-win team, so it is what it is. We know we have to play better. And like I said, it's the focus is more about us doing the things that we need to do to put a better product out on the field.
Going back to Jordan for a second, the even keel thing, we talk about it all the time, right? But a bye week is a long time to sit with a game that wasn't your best. As even keeled as he is, what do you need from him to kind of bounce back? And what have you seen just in your conversations with him of how maybe motivated he is after playing the league?
Again, I think a lot of times the quarterback gets too much blame when you're not scoring points, and that's just the way it goes, especially when you're turning over the ball. I just think it comes down to us getting into a rhythm offensively. We have not done that. It's been choppy. It's felt disjointed. The one thing I was pleased about, just if reflecting, I feel like we've cleaned up some of the penalty errors. We haven't had as many pre-snap penalties, which is good, so you're not kind of shooting yourself in the foot. But there's so many things that we just got to throw and catch better, and I don't care if we're doing it on air. It's got to be better. It's got to be more consistent. I think the guys are working hard at it. I can tell you that. I'm excited about being able to go out there and play a game. And we got to have 2 more great days of prep in order to go out there and compete.